I knew I'd get your attention. Jane, how are you?
Good, how are you?
We're in your town, right?
Yes, my daughter's a teacher. And she wants to know what you're doing to help with Chapter 78 to help with insurance relief for teachers.
Yep. All right, let's hear, what's your daughter's name?
Karen Burstein.
Karen Burstein. Let's hear for Karen Burstein and her mother, Jane Miller. We have, what's that? I know that. It's not only educators. But listen, the punchline is, the quick answer is this, Jane. We've supported that relief since the moment we heard about it, since the moment it happened. And I mentioned this earlier in response to the question I got about why the root causes of property taxes. And it is a fact, and I think it's more acute, Barry, with educators, in fairness. But you've got too many. I don't know, how long has your daughter been teaching?
4 years in this district.
Okay, so she came in just after this came in. But you've got a lot of educators, and I suspect other public sector employees who are taking home less money today than they did 10 years ago. And so, I've said this, and by the way, the folks who supported Chapter 78 have agreed with me that even the supporters of Chapter 78 didn't expect that to be the outcome, right? So put aside whether you supported it or not, even they didn't think folks would be taking home less pay a decade later. So we continue to be, so we need legislation. I can't do this by executive order. I'd love to, but I can't. And so we've had constructive conversations of late, but there's a where's the beef moment. I hope it's sooner than later. We're now halfway through February, and I'd like to see this coming up sooner than later. I did mention, sooner than later, by the way, like 2 years ago. I did mention this, and I want to reiterate this. We have been able to save meaningfully on health care costs, both for taxpayers as well as individuals. And I hope we can continue to do that by delivering health care more efficiently and being smarter about how we deliver it. Carol Johnson was a big part of that. Lamont, obviously, in the Department of Education. We can do that. We've proven we could do that. And I hope we'll prove that again in the budget that we're going to unveil on Tuesday. But done in a way where you're not making the individual, as I said earlier, either accept lesser quality health care or pay more for the current health care that you have. It turns out you could do what I just said by wringing inefficiencies out of the system. The last thing I'll say, and then we gotta shut down as it's a school night, is this. It's literally a school night as we're in middle school here. So when I mentioned establishing the Office of Healthcare Affordability and Transparency, that's for everybody. That's not just for public sector employees, but public sector employees will be a big beneficiary of that as well. Again, there's nothing like the collective bargaining process. I think our union brothers and sisters would agree with that. That allows consenting adults to get to a room and beat the heck out of each other. But when the door opens, you've got a result probably that nobody likes, but everybody can live with. Bless you. So I want that office to not just work for the non-union folks around the state, of which there are millions, but I want it to work for everybody, including our educators. I'm going to give this up to